Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to go over my theory about why there's about to be a massive Nintendo Direct in May for the Nintendo Switch 2. And in my opinion, I think it's going to be more exciting and more informative than the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct reveal, whatever the hell you want to call it. But we also have some updates and some rumors and leaks and all that good stuff as well. Let's go ahead and get right into this video. So before we do all that, I gotta show you this breaking news coming from Shigeru Miyamoto.
Hello everyone, please sub to Mr. Robot Joe YouTube channel.
Hey, I'm just saying, I don't think you should disappoint the man. You should probably do what he says he tells everybody at Nintendo to make Mario Kart $100 or something. Just saying. But regardless, we have a very fun video to get into today. And I think everything I'm gonna talk about today, it all makes sense. So before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, that would truly mean the world to me. And follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram so we can keep the community growing. And let's just go ahead and get into this video. So the very first thing I want to do is talk about Cyberpunk. Yes, the game that was doomed when it came out. It was horrendous. And it is now probably a top 3 game of all time for me. I'm just being cautious by saying that, but I think it's factual. It is truly incredible. The DLC might be the greatest piece of DLC of all time. I think it's called Cyberpunk 2.0 now, technically, so maybe it's not the original Cyberpunk, but this is a launch game for the Nintendo Switch 2. Just saying that makes my head want to explode. How the hell is this all possible? I almost feel like it was poetic how Cyberpunk broke during the stream. It was glitchy, it wasn't working. And yeah, I just feel like there's some kind of irony there. But regardless, this is a Switch 2 launch game. And the crazy thing is, the entire game, plus all of the DLC, is on the cartridge. No download required. That in itself sounds like a damn miracle. So we have another Cyberpunk update today, or a leak, or whatever. And I think it's just really cool. It looks like Cyberpunk 2077 is the first game that is confirmed to use DLSS on the Nintendo Switch 2. So there's a rumor or theories that this is going to happen for quite a bit of games. I think this is through Nvidia, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong about everything I talk about when it comes to the tech side. I have no idea. But I don't think Nintendo's ever addressed this directly. So this is pretty cool, and I think Cyberpunk is the perfect game for all this to happen. In case you're unfamiliar, DLSS stands for Deep Learning Super Sampling, and it's an AI-powered image enhancement technology that improves game performance and visuals. So yeah, I'm just trying to fill you in on what all this means, but really, I'm just letting myself know what all this means. On the Nintendo Switch, a lot of people labeled The Witcher the impossible port, even though it looks horrendous, but sure, the game is there and it is playable. I think Cyberpunk might be the impossible port on the Nintendo Switch 2, especially when you look at how Cyberpunk played on the PS4 and the Xbox One. And they're saying the Switch 2 is kind of in that category of performance. I don't know, seems pretty impressive to me. So before we get into some more leaks about a Nintendo Direct coming up and some stuff that might possibly show up in that Direct, I want to show you this picture of the UI right here. This is another picture going around, and it's so funny. You've seen so many people making concept UIs and having certain games on it. Seeing this be real right here is kind of weird. It doesn't seem right. Obviously, it's not the best thing to look at. I'm still having fingers crossed that there'll be more than white and black themes. Maybe blue, red, yellow. There are some other options there. But as you can see down here, there's quite a bunch of little icons. Obviously, we know this is the voice chat. I don't know what that is at all. I feel dumb. The eShop screenshots. This is a big thing right here. People are like, what the hell is that blue icon? And I'm just going to assume that is game sharing. And I do think this is a very underrated feature, something that was kind of swept over in the big Switch 2 presentation. It's we're all wondering what the hell's going on here, and then we started learning about prices and then game prices. But game sharing is insane. And I do think you can even game share with your Nintendo Switch, if I'm not mistaken. They were saying, what's that new game, Split Fiction, I think that's what it's called, that you can own one copy and you can game share to another Nintendo Switch 2 or a Nintendo Switch. This is such a major feature. And the last time Nintendo did something like this, if I'm not mistaken, was on the Nintendo DS. So they're doing a lot of bad stuff this next generation. A lot of it seems to be fueled by greed. I know there's the tariffs and all this other stuff, but we gotta call a spade here. It seems like a lot of business financial decisions are going on to make the most profit. It is what it is. This is a really cool feature that I do think should be highlighted more. So yeah, that's another picture of the UI. Now let's get into the reason we're all here. A new Nintendo Direct. We need one. I feel like it's gonna happen in May. The Switch launches June 5th. I could see it happening the week before. That's a Thursday, so maybe even like that Tuesday before, but I'm gonna assume a week, maybe 2 weeks before, so we can learn about some new games and stuff like that. And I'll tell you why I think this is all happening. So first, let's start with this little leak right here. So this is coming from Nash Weedle. Leak Express, a third-party studio, I think they mean a third-party studio. They confirmed that they have pending announcements for the Switch 2 because Nintendo will show them in the next Nintendo Direct. It seems that this happens more with third-party studios, and Nintendo wants to surprise us with a second wave of third-party ads. There was a lot of companies I feel like we should have seen at that whole Switch 2 presentation. Like, I could be wrong, but I feel like Ubisoft wasn't there, or am I missing something big? Is it Ubisoft or Ubisoft? I hear people saying both ways. I say Ubisoft, I hear other people saying Ubisoft, but my brain will not allow me to say it that way because it's not right. I feel like Ubisoft and Nintendo have an amazing relationship. We could see a new entry of Mario and Rabbids. That would be pretty cool. I'm a huge fan of that series and I want that to continue for as long as possible. But a game I think is definitely going to show up in this Nintendo Direct. Assassin's Creed Shadows. We talked about it yesterday. We've seen it being rated by the PEGI board, which is the ESRB over in Europe. This is being rated for the Switch 2, so it can't come out this month. It can't come out in May. In my opinion, this is going to be a launch game for the Switch 2, so I think this is going to be one of the major announcements at this next Nintendo Direct. And it's going to be really cool, right? Say what you will about Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed, I think this game looks incredible. I have not played it yet, but I do think it looks amazing. And just seeing this show up on the Nintendo Switch 2, I just think it's going to make the launch that much stronger. So another company I really expected to see at the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, reveal, whatever you want to call it, is Microsoft and all the companies that are under Microsoft now. And we even heard from Phil Spencer a couple days ago saying he really wants to support the Nintendo Switch 2, and it's just strange to me that they weren't there. So I definitely think Microsoft and pretty much everybody who's underneath them is going to show up at this next Nintendo Direct. I think that's going to be a huge selling point for this Direct. It's like, well, you seen all that stuff? Okay, here's Microsoft, and here's this, and here's that. And I'm like, oh my God, this Direct is just becoming so much more stronger. Obviously, I think we're going to get Halo and Starfield and Flight Simulator and all this good stuff. A game I could definitely see showing up is this new Oblivion remake. Yes, there's an Oblivion remake, which is crazy to me. Allegedly, this is going to be shadow dropped this month. That's insane in itself. Like, yes, we're going to get all the other stuff, but I think it was cool that Skyrim was a big selling point and a big focal point, I think, at the Switch 2 reveal trailer, and just a really big part of the first year of the Switch. So having Skyrim for the Switch and Oblivion for the Switch 2, I think it's just making perfect sense to me. So I think this is going to be a big factor of that Nintendo Direct happening next month. So there's just so much evidence, man. I can go on about all the games I think we're going to see there. But the main point I just want to say is this is definitely going to happen next month. I think it's going to give us a lot more information. A lot more games are going to show up. A lot more developers. It's just going to be really, I think, what we were all looking for in the last Direct. You know what I mean? And obviously some more first-party stuff, because I feel like the first-party part of the Switch 2 Direct was pretty underwhelming in my opinion. I would have liked to see just a little bit more. So yeah, big Nintendo Direct definitely coming in May. But ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this? Because your opinion matters most. In the comments below, I would love to hear from you. If you made it to this part of the video, I'm giving you 1 billion years of good luck. You earned it. If you want to earn an additional 1 billion years of good luck, hit a like and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram so we can keep the community growing. And you guys know me, I will see you very soon with a new video. Peace out.